It's a trap, you walk right into the hate. All over a new king that's face is just replaced. It's all the same, you still be ruled by force. And no matter who it is, they'll still carry on the torch. Just a lie, cheat, steal, half of what you make. Taxation is theft, it's time to vacate the state. Newsflash, all your cash is an IOU. From killers who really do steal from you. Inflation is a weapon used by every nation who says that they're saving the world through lies. That they disguise and pass off as bravery. Well, I got news, debt is slavery. It don't matter who's madder, a new master don't matter. When they both want the same, the state don't play no games. They got you trying to survive and put you on sides and ready to kill each other. That's conquer and divide. It's all for show or for hyper control.
That's a good boy. And we're back with another episode of Bones and Tubs. We're here with you on this Tuesday afternoon, ready to give you all those good things that you want to know about.
Lots of stuff. Lots of good.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know.
Listen,
Linda.
Yeah, we talked about what we were going to do this week already, so if you didn't know it already, the main topic is going to be income taxes. But before we get started on that, we got some housework to do, you know?
Yes.
And then we're going to talk about some shit going on in the real world right now.
Do you have any housework before we go on to this list?
No, not really. No, I don't.
Okay, so I'm going to look at this handy-dandy notebook here, for the live. Shout out Instagram Live. That's the only time I'm going to do it. We'll read from the comments later on. Because a lot of people were like, shut the fuck up.
What do you mean? Like
They were like, well, you guys will be going, you'll be hitting it. And then all of a sudden you stop and you're talking about tiny hats.
Okay.
So we're going to do a shout out and a convo at the end, if that's cool with you.
Okay, yeah.
After we get done with everything. So anyway, we have a new patron over at patreon.com/Bones and Tubs. He's a $20 a month hitter. His name is Stinkbutt.
Stinkbutt.
Another week goes by. Last week we had the drone attack, and the drone gave us money. This week I worked overtime. We both did. In the Factory of Sadness. Doubles, 2 of them back to back.
Yeah.
Suck a fucking ball sack. And I was so tired and riddled with, what do you want to call it? Parenting.
Yeah.
That by the time I got home, I just wanted to fucking collapse. Because I had to be back up in 4 fucking hours to go back and do it again.
Yeah.
So I, too, had a stink butt. And anyway, stink butt, shout out to you. Thank you for joining our Patreon. T-shirt, sticker, all that will be in the mail after we get your money. Because we've been hassled before where we would send out a T-shirt to somebody who joined the tier, got the shirt, and then pulled their support before the payment came. You know who you are.
Yeah.
We still love you. Also want to do... call to action, our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Bones and Tubs Show. Go over there, subscribe to that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Let us get the ability to do a live stream on our phone because we need 1,000 of you motherfuckers.
Hit the bell.
Yeah, hit the bell, get all that stuff. Like everything, comment on it. Share it with your friends. Instagram.com/Bones and Tubs. Twitter.com/BonesTubs. 2 new ones. We are on Venmo.
No.
I don't really know what that means, but we're on Venmo, and if you want to pay us money, support us. If you've heard the good news, if you've thought before about giving us money, check us out on Venmo at Bones and Tubs, PayPal as well, and Cash App, $, Bones and Tubs.
There you go.
So if you think about it, head on over to one of those platforms, or maybe over to our Patreon. Like I said, if you've heard the good news.
Yeah.
If you see it in your mind's eye, go ahead and give us some of your monies. Help us support the podcast, change up the studio, reach a bigger audience. And the last bit of housekeeping, I wanted to shout out all the countries that we've been downloaded in.
There you go. Do it.
Now, I checked with Mr. Tubbs here before we started. He hasn't heard it either, so this will be the first time for all y'all.
Yeah.
Are you ready? United Kingdom, Australia, all the parts of Australia.
Good day, mate.
Even the unlivable parts, which is the whole country. Canada, Ireland, Puerto Rico, Russia, Mexico. This one I was curious about, and I figured you'd correct me on, because I'm fucking retarded.
Okay.
Seychelles.
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 Let me see real quick.
It's terrible handwriting. You should know this.
Seychelles? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm listing them in order of downloads. So, the further along we go, the less, but still.
Okay.
We've left our fingerprint. Oman, the Netherlands, Austria, South Africa, Germany, Belgium, Sweden, Slovenia, France, Portugal, Iraq, Brazil, Spain, Japan, Finland, Malaysia, Singapore, Israel, South Korea. Send us north. Let's see here. Costa Rica, Guam, my favorite because this came from research I did on third shift in the factory. Azerbaijan.
There you go.
Denmark, New Zealand, Trinidad, and Tobago.
Oh, shit.
Thailand.
Oh.
Somebody's out there getting their dick sucked by a ladyboy, and they're like, I check out the bones and tubs! Romania, India, Greece, Cameroon, Bahrain, Iran, Slovakia, Poland, Pakistan, Italy, Iceland, Armenia, Ethiopia, Estonia. That's fucking Dmitry Lavrov for sure. Czech Republic, Colombia, China, United Arab Emirates, Zambia. And then they just left it at the bottom, 95 unnamed countries on top of all those. So shout out to all of you individually.
Yeah.
Each and every one of you. If you want to talk to us, pretty much every messaging app sends a translation. So hit us up in the DMs.
Yeah.
Because I would fucking love it.
Yeah, Google Translate,
We've also been in all 50 states.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm not sure if our female follower that
like shout out to our 2 audience members in Alaska. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know there's not that many people up there.
Our female follower, we just sent a T-shirt to. She sent us a screen or a picture of her in the shirt. Did you see it?
Yes, I did.
And I want to know if she's the one that helped us cross the Bering Strait over to Hawaii.
That would be cool.
I thought that, but then I saw that we had a sizable amount from Hawaii.
So
I doubt she downloaded all those shows. And
if we were a
Hawaiian
hypothetical plague, we would have been pandemic by now, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, this is if you've ever played the game Plague Inc. or what's the other one?
I don't know the other one. I just love Plague Inc. That's
Check
some of my
out.
favorite games to play.
Shout out, not a sponsor, Plague Inc.
Yeah, it's very, very. It's actually a very complicated algorithm that dictates that game.
Especially the new one. You seen the new one?
Mm-hmm.
You got to beat certain ones to get other ones.
Yeah,
but you're dealing with
I haven't gotten past which one was it?
Fungal infections. Are a bitch.
Fungal's hard because you got to it only affects certain regions of the world, and you got to build up its immunity to cold to get it further north. But I have noticed though that for the most part, a lot of these things, if you start them in China, they tend to just take care of themselves.
There's so many goddamn people there, and
apparently there's a massive public health crisis going on in China.
We laugh about the thing what's funny is while we're recording this, there's probably a fucking level 5 contaminant that's spreading through China. It's about to hit an airport in the United States.
Yeah, what blows my mind is that we have listeners in China. I don't even know how they do that because isn't there special internet restrictions over there?
Let me tell you a story.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of doing random shit to try and promote this show.
Yeah.
So I downloaded Periscope.
Okay.
And I went all around the world. And occasionally I'd just hop in there and I would fucking ejaculate the Bones and Toes podcast in their comments.
There you go.
Eh.
Yeah. But it's like a thought virus. You know?
THOT, that hoe over there.
But yeah, so is that everything with the housekeeping?
I believe so.
Okay. So, we were going to talk about it. It happened yesterday. Was it yesterday, right?
Yeah.
One, Greta Thunberg.
Yeah.
Who sailed across the ocean to address the UN.
Yeah.
About the climate.
I heard we only have 11 years left to live.
Yeah, young Spitfire sails across the ocean to fucking lecture the United States. I can't talk. I sound like her for a minute. You're not. No, it's that accent. You're the United States.
Yeah, that's what you meant. I gotcha.
No, but
I was told to pull punches, so I'll stop.
Yeah, anyways,
not by Israel.
So she came here, and she's been doing little, get-togethers and whatnot, and doing little speeches. Well, she had her big moment yesterday in front of the UN. And here's the thing. There is a part of me that's to this because nothing I love more than somebody condemning politicians.
Yeah, for sure. Fuck them.
So yeah, fuck them, right? Because that part of me is yeah, fuck yeah, tell you fucking give them what for, right? Mm-hmm. And plus, you can't deny there's certain aspects I don't 100% agree with her, right? Because here's the problem. I don't believe that climate change in and of itself is something that we can affect, right?
Yeah.
Now, conservation and corporations dumping chemicals into our groundwater, I do have a problem with.
Shout out plastic bag. Sorry about that.
There's actually, I just saw a preview for a movie that's coming out soon, and I think I've talked about it before on the show about DuPont dumping that shit where they were making Teflon for pans and stuff, and they were dumping the byproduct of Teflon into the groundwater.
Is it that Tefal shit?
Something like that, yeah, and it was like killing the cattle and
Non-stick.
giving people cancer and
Did
shit.
we do a show about that?
I feel like I don't know if we did a full-fledged show about
We
it,
definitely talked about it, though.
but I'll go back to the backlog. I'll go through the back catalog, and if we haven't, that could be a good episode to do.
For sure. They fucked that town.
Yes. So, like, in that respect, I can agree with her, like, hey, we shouldn't be dumping chemicals into the water.
Right.
Or, hey, we shouldn't be strip mining or fucking, what's it called, fracking, because it destroys the fucking environment.
Yeah.
Right? These are things, logical things.
We haven't even talked
sense.
about, like, other important shit, like the fact that Fukushima is still dumping hundreds of thousands of gallons of radioactive fucking water that they're about to just dump into the ocean.
And here's the thing. In the grand scheme of things, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to agree with her first, then I'm going to disagree with her. You ready for this?
I am.
Okay. I agree with her on her notions of conservation, because poisoning, I mean, we need water to live, and if you're poisoning our groundwater supply, there's going to be a problem.
Devil's advocate. Can I do that real quick?
Yeah.
There's like all of the visible waters, lakes, streams, oceans.
Yeah.
That's 1/3 of the planet's water.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of it.
Which is true, but
if you fuck it all up.
Yeah, and that's the problem, is that's what we're doing.
Right.
Right? Beyond that, like, and you look at the fucking massive amounts of plastic in the oceans and whatnot, and that's affecting fucking animal life. It's affecting us. There's like microplastic in the fucking food we eat now because of that shit.
Right.
That's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Bees are dying in fucking droves because we keep letting fucking Monsanto fucking have carte blanche with whatever fucking chemicals they feel like using. It's like they don't even give a shit.
Yeah.
They're just putting shit together and like, fuck it, let's dump it all on everything.
Exactly.
It should fucking work, instead of doing the due diligence to figure out what they can do to, prevent fucking bee die-off, because, we actually need those things.
It's like when we, the Bones family started doing apistry, where we would do the bees. I don't do it because I'm terrified of things that fly and sting. I don't know why. But anyway.
I get it.
It was a good teaching moment, because my father-in-law came to me, and we were talking about, he used to just spray the shit out of, Roundup.
Yeah.
In his like flower beds and shit. And he was like, I can't do that anymore. They used to dump it in their pond to keep the algae out.
Jesus wept.
Right. But he's like, I had no idea. I was like, oh yeah, I think I mentioned that to you, but who am I?
Yeah. Well, now you know.
Now you know. Knowledge is power.
So in that respect, I agree with her. Yeah. Right? There are serious problems, and politicians, for the most part, are complicit in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But here's where I'm going to start disagreeing with her. Okay? For one, yes, I believe in cleaner energies. I believe that we should get away from fossil fuels, because...
fuck, we've had free energy for how goddamn long?
And that's the thing. We've talked about this on the show before. We've had the means to control our destiny for a long time. Right?
Yeah.
That, and I think that we need... Our foreign dependency on oil is a serious issue.
It's gross.
But...
don't let me forget, before we get off topic, that I want to talk about the equinox and all that magic.
But herein lies the problem. In the grand scheme of things... In the whole of all of Earth's history, there have been 5 ice ages and repeated warm-ups and cool-downs. We're not even in the biggest warm-up in our history, right?
Right.
Like, as far as, if you look at the graphs in the course of Earth's history and where its temperatures lie, it's not on any kind of incline or anything like that. It's just part of the same molecular nature that it's had the entire time.
Why are so many people talking about, learned people, they're talking about a freeze coming?
Well, see, here's the
solar minimum ice age.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and we've talked about on the show before how we did a whole climate change episode, and we talked about how I firmly and fully believe, yes, I'm not going to deny the climate's changing, right? But I'm also going to say it's not really because of anything we have. I mean, we have our role to play, but we're not the major player in this. We have that giant helium and hydrogen-filled fucking ball of gas that literally is so hot that it emits, it fucking changes the molecular nature of everything around it.
You're talking about Bob.
Yeah, the big orange ball. Yeah. in the sky, that has a lot to do with it.
It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, and the fact that in their equation to determine why the temperature is rising, they use the sun as being only 1% of the reason why is a problem.
Back when Al Gore was spewing all his shit about how the world was going to end in 2012, we wouldn't have an Antarctic cap or a polar ice cap in 2013 and then 2014.
Yeah.
Back when, because the propaganda was heavy as fuck at that time. Somebody posted a story about Mars or Mercury, I forget, but they were talking about the dangerous climate rays on other planets, and they were like, "God damn you, Earthlings driving your SUVs, raising the fucking temperature on other planets."
But here's the thing: there's an interesting article, and unfortunately, I don't like referencing slanted news sites, but it's on Breitbart. But about 42 weather predictions and 42 predictions about human civilization ending and all sorts of shit being completely wrong.
Yeah. Well, there's
throughout the this whole climate change thing, and now that's what it's called because it's gone through so many different names.
Started with freezing, went to warming.
It was global cooling, then global warming, and now we're at climate change because now it's such a vague concept. They don't know what it's going to do because it's the fucking climate.
Just be glad that Bones and Tubbs aren't involved in the globalist scam to tax you to death, because if we were, we wouldn't have to do name changes. We're going to have enough meetings behind closed doors before we make a public announcement that we're not going to have to change the name of what we're doing.
Yeah. And
how can we tax these motherfuckers, basically is what it is.
Yeah, let me put a couple things in perspective real quick when it concerns this, okay? The first question you got to ask yourself is why? And we've not answered this question, but we postulated what the answer is. It's about control, right? They want, if they can start roping us in, they can control us more. Stop eating meat.
Flatulence tax on a cow.
Yeah,
don't
fly planes anymore.
Yeah.
The more rules they can land on us, the more power, the more structure they have, the less we can do. Right?
Shout out Dr. Doug for his quotation, "One more regulation to utopia."
Yes. So I believe fully and firmly it's about control.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the other thing that I wanted to broach with this is that we have means of doing something about it, right? And she has a point. There's money to be made, and it's obvious that people are making money even though it's detrimental to the environment, right?
Yeah.
That a change needs to happen.
Right.
Now, we talked about this yesterday to an extent that in a more anarchistic society, things like this would probably fix themselves with assassination politics and whatnot.
I mean, we did a show on the assassination politics, and we got a shout out from the dude who went to prison for writing about it, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, sorry, write my own dick.
Yeah. And so back to her speech. She did this long speech. She cussed out politicians, which was great.
She'd be on that list for sure.
But let's keep things in mind here. One, this is not organic.
No.
She is not some organic it would be great. It's a great story, right?
Yeah.
Young girl from the Netherlands. Or where's she from? Netherlands, right? Or Sweden?
One of those.
Yeah. Young girl rises up and challenges the evil corporations and politicians at hand.
Yeah.
Great fucking narrative.
Right.
I love the narrative. You know what? I wish it was true.
I want to give you a side note, too, to go with that. You know how we've talked before about, we'll kind of laugh, oh, we can't talk shit about this person because they're a person of color.
Yeah.
Right? Or they're a female. Or they're this or that. It's no coincidence, I don't think, that they picked an autistic girl. Because anybody that's willing to shit on a girl with autism, in a professional,
That's that. You can't make fun of them because they have something wrong with them.
It's a new type of shield.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've ever seen them use it, at least.
And I think, I saw a post the other day about how her family, she's about as organic as far as I'm concerned as David Hogg. Where his father works for the CIA or FBI and all that shit. Or his father worked for the FBI. Her family is in filmmaking. They're directors. They've been political activists for years.
Right.
This isn't organic. She's a showpiece.
Yeah.
Don't think... first of all, the fact that she even got to go before the UN and give her little spiel in the first place should let you know right there that it's a fabrication.
She's got that juice, dog.
It's not real.
Right.
None of that is real. It's not organic.
None of this
if
is
you
real.
if you wanted to make an organic bid on this, get some poor girl from India who lives in a fucking junk heap full of plastics and shit that has an extra arm growing out of her because of all the crazy chemicals she's been exposed to.
Whose dad has to keep mom pregnant so they can continue to get breast milk to feed the family.
Exactly.
That's a real shit.
You want some, that's some real shit
That's
to me.
real fucking shit, yeah.
Yeah. Or some fucking person that got exposed to radiation at Fukushima. Like, that's some shit.
Yeah.
Or get somebody, like we were just talking about, from West Virginia at the DuPont, like, who lived in that town, who got exposed to those chemicals at DuPont. Mm-hmm. There are so many people that you could have organically placed in there, and it would have made more sense than just this random girl.
Here's the problem with that. And you and I both know, and I'm sure everybody else probably knows as well, but it's like an unspoken truth. They don't give a fuck about you or your family or future generations. They give a fuck about money.
Yeah.
You can't tax somebody if you only talk shit about corporate waste.
But imagine...
You need to make it everybody's problem so you can have a global carbon tax.
Exactly. You imagine, like, the thirst for
God.
new taxes. Like, I bet you, like, the dude who came up with the carbon tax, it gets his dick sucked constantly.
By young children. He hung out on... Shout out Epstein Island, but he hung out there.
Oh, speaking of which, our weekly reminder that Jeffrey Epstein was in fact a pedophile and a sex trafficker, and he had a lot of elite friends that got away with it when he quote-unquote committed suicide.
Right. When I was editing the show last week and you did your shout-out, I laughed out loud so much that my daughter woke up.
It has to, I mean, I feel like it has to be, because they're constantly trying to drive it back, right?
Can I, before we get too far off of the climate thing, I want to hit that magic angle.
Yeah.
So we've talked before about things being structured in certain ways. They do certain things on certain dates with numerology in order to increase effectiveness or decrease something, right? Mm-hmm. The closest thing I could think of that we've talked about has been Trump and his involvement with lunar magic.
Yeah.
As far as anytime he wants something to go away, he starts talking about it on the full moon. Because as the moon goes from full to waning to gone, right?
Yeah.
It dissipates. Mm-hmm. The magic stomps it down.
Yeah.
Likewise, if you want something to rise and you're involved in lunar magic, you would start talking about it or start doing the practice on the new moon. Mm-hmm. And as it grows to a full moon, it gains power, and you get it.
Yeah.
So this climate meeting just so happened to be on the. Can you Google that?
It's on the. Yeah.
Okay, so I wasn't sure, but I'm glad I was right.
You're right.
But they did this globalist climate change meeting on the autumnal equinox.
Yes.
Equal parts day, equal parts night. We've shifted from summer into fall, and we have shifted. I think it's into Virgo. Which I don't know what the fuck that means.
You said Libra.
Libra, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different star sign, and there are people freaking out online right now about it. There's check out Marfugo News. He did an interview with Jacob Israel, and he talks all about it. But he's like, this is all magic. They're doing this on purpose, and they're about to ramp something up seriously. Seriously big.
Yeah. So
there's that aspect of it all. Nothing's coincidence.
No.
You don't just coincidentally plan a fucking globalist UN meeting with your autistic girl pet that no one can talk shit about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are the odds of any of that happening in the first place, let alone on the fucking equinox?
Yeah.
Suck a albino gorilla's dick.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's my little two pieces. I'm gonna break my own rule, but I have to say it again because we've had a lot of people join.
Yeah.
Due to listener complaints, we aren't going to read comments on the live stream until after the show. Mm-hmm. But we did get one that's fire.
Okay.
And I have to, and it's the last one I'll do. Another reminder. Where in the world is Ruth Bader Ginsburg? She dead.
Yeah.
But we're done.
So, basically what it breaks down to is, 1, the climate's changing. 2, we don't have as much to do with it as they want us to know, as they would lead us to believe. Because here's the thing. They say, oh, well, 9 out of 10 scientists believe that this is happening, right? Well, I'm pretty sure that if you went to Germany in 1936, I bet you 9 out of 10 scientists would say that anybody but Germans were an inferior race because of brain capacity or whatnot.
Right. Science is a motherfucker, man.
Yeah, man. Like, when science can be wielded as a weapon to control, they will do that. And that's exactly what they're doing with this right now.
If you're on the fence with any of that, science in itself, the cheapest and easiest way I've thought of to look at this. Science can never have a consensus. Science's job is to constantly be distilling information to get the best opinion.
Yeah.
Or the best knowledge. You can't have a consensus. That's fucking religious cult shit.
Yeah. Which is what it's at this point. It feels more like dogma than actual science.
Right. They've created. It's part of that religion.
Because I mean, if you think about it,
statist religion.
Like now it's the 12 years, right? They say we got 12 years. So what? 2031.
Okay, so before I retire, allegedly.
Okay, so in 2031, the world will no longer be able to sustain human life. Da 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 da.
So how many times have we gone past this before with Gore? You said 3 times.
Yes, I wanna make a bookmark now in this episode that if when we're still doing it, because I assume we're still gonna be doing the show in 2031.
We'll just be surrounded by bags of money and fucking looking all bougie. You know?
But in 2031, and shit's pretty much the way it is now. Didn't mean anything, and it was all propaganda.
Right.
And to anybody out there realizing that Greta Thunberg is a tool of propaganda.
And a tool.
I'm not going to say she's a tool. She is a tool. She's a tool of propaganda, right?
Right.
I mean, I love that people drew parallels between her and old Nazi propaganda.
I tell you, one person who didn't was some... I almost fucked up. some bundle of sticks on our Facebook page.
Oh, yeah.
That comment really got me going this morning.
Yeah, I wouldn't even sweat it, man.
I hates my fucking gasoline, though, dog.
Yeah,
you should know that by now.
Well, he was just trolling.
I know.
You know what I mean?
He did a good
Troll's
job.
going to troll.
Yeah.
But, okay, I think that's done with our talk about Greta Thunberg. Let's get on to what we intentionally were going to talk about on this episode.
All right, so
which is the history of the income tax. So, income taxes. The history of them. I mean, you're all here, and unless this is your first episode, you should already know how we feel about taxation in general.
It's a 5-letter word, and it rhymes with theft.
It's theft.
It's theft.
But we're going to talk specifically about what I perceive to be the biggest example of theft, and what ultimately makes us slaves to the state.
Yeah.
And that's income taxes. Now, they're in the grand scheme of things in the United States. They're not necessarily new. They came before our time, but they're not the old. They're not oldest. Bleh, I can't talk. They're not one of the oldest things. I mean, they had temporary income taxes put in place during the Civil War. To raise funds to fund the federal government,
right?
Because they basically lost half the state's revenues during the Civil War. So they had to generate a new revenue. Yeah. So they had a temporary income tax. And then they did it. Ugh, God, I can't talk.
Petit.
They did it again in the 1890s. And then, I wish I could go back in time to 1912 and just really just stick it to them.
Stick it to them, do you mean when you went back in time you would take an AK-47 with you and show them what time it is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I feel like 1912, 1913 was a really shitty time.
Right.
And it's the turning, as far as I'm concerned, it's really the turning point in our history.
Yeah.
Because 1, we got the Federal Reserve.
Right.
And 2, we got the 16th Amendment.
It's all, I'm going to give my thought on that. I think that every tax is a banker control piece.
Yeah.
So, continue.
And you may be asking yourself, trying to remember, what is the 16th Amendment to the Constitution?
What is it?
Okay.
Can you teach me what it is?
The wording is this. The Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes on incomes, from whatever source derived, without apportionment among the several states, and without regard to any census or enumeration. So,
I'm impressed that you were able to read that without choking on the powder leaking from your wig.
Right.
And I want to give a shout out real quick. Sorry to interrupt you. The anarchist view that laws are bullshit. Because just because they put it on paper
doesn't make
theft legal. It didn't make slavery legal, and that's a great meme too.
Yeah.
Slavery is taking 100% of somebody's wages.
Yeah.
So at what percentage does it not become theft?
Or slavery, for that matter.
Wage slaves on a Masonic tax farm.
So, of course, as soon as they passed the 16th Amendment, they were hot to trot. They immediately ratified the first income tax in October of 1913.
Yeah.
So the ink wasn't even dry on the 16th Amendment before they went ahead with what they were doing, which it makes sense. But at first, now get this, Now imagine this is a time when someone wouldn't have an income normally of this much money. But it started, basically, it was a tax for being rich. Or being wealthier.
This is Civil War era?
No, this is 1913.
I see.
So the first one was just a 1% tax on net personal incomes above $3,000.
Oh my Jesus.
So for the time, no, people weren't making $3,000. Like your average Joe wasn't making $3,000 a year.
Was this after the time when it came out as a 1% voluntary tax to support World War One?
That's later.
Okay, I got you.
And then the only other thing they had was a 6% surtax on incomes above $500,000. So a 6% tax on the ultra rich at the time.
Taxing the ultra rich.
So get this: by 1918, because of World War One, the top rate of the income tax was increased to 77% on incomes over $1 million.
Jesus wept.
Yes.
There is some truth, right? Like, I hate to ride either political party's line, but I feel like taxing a business owner or somebody who's that rich is going to affect how they employ.
Yeah, I would imagine
which
so.
Then trickles it down to you.
Because you can't regulate morality.
Nope,
you know?
Nope.
So, but for the most part, that was just for like the ultra rich, right?
Yeah.
The average rate for a rich person back then was 15%, right? Okay, so then it gradually went back down, right? For the rich, we're still talking about the rich here. We're not talking about Joe and Schmo, every man right now.
Your average everyday Greta Thunberg over in Ohio,
So it went down. But then during World War II, it started going up. And not only that, they began to tax people who weren't the ultra rich. Your average folk.
That's when they started thinking, like, wait a minute, there's so many more people. How do we get that money?
And here's the thing. It progressively went up. Like, if you look through history, it continued to on a steady incline up until the 1980s when Ronald Reagan, I guess, said, fuck all that.
Yeah.
And lowered everything.
Suck a duck.
So that's basically, if you're looking at the income tax in this country... And now we're to a point where we have our tax brackets, which they had them back then too.
Yeah.
But I'll let you go ahead. We're going to beyond income tax, right? So there's more than just income taxes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wrote the word tax so many fucking times that I can't even look at it anymore because it doesn't look real to me.
Yes. So we're going to go through the list of all the taxes that you can incur in the United States of America.
Before we do that, I'm going to put in a not shouting you out because you don't pay me money, long cut tobacco.
I wish they did.
Give it time.
I bet you Grizzly would fucking write us a fat check.
Man, I know they need that advertisement. All those countries I listed at the beginning of the episode.
I don't think they're allowed to advertise on, like, I think magazines and stuff are the only thing they're allowed to, and newspapers are the only thing they're allowed to advertise in anymore.
Yeah. All right, so let me switch the camera. This is why we need you, Orion. We need you fully employed to be our young Jamie. Now, they're in alphabetical order. Mm-hmm. And I should say this because I love this dude's work and I want to shout him out. Rest in peace, Aaron Russo. I got this from his documentary on YouTube. You can watch it for free called America, Freedom to Fascism. Check it out. Share it. You'll get upset. So, alphabetical order. This is a list of taxes that you either pay or you indirectly pay because it affects something that you buy, which is then raised the cost of to pay for the tax from the business owner.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Accounts receivable tax, automobile registration tax, building permit tax, capital gains tax, CDL license tax, tobacco tax, corporate income tax, court and traffic fines, indirect, dog license tax, estate tax, federal unemployment tax, or FUTA, fishing license tax, food license tax, fuel permit tax, human right tax. I put that in there because they're all human rights. But anyway, gasoline tax, hunting license tax, inheritance tax, inventory tax, IRS interest charge, a tax on a tax.
Yeah.
IRS penalties, tax on a tax. Liquor tax, local income tax, luxury tax, marriage license tax, Medicare tax, parking meters, property tax, real estate tax, septic permit tax, service charge tax, Social Security tax, road usage tax for the truckers, sales tax, recreational tax, road toll booth tax, school tax, state income tax, state unemployment tax, or SOTA. Telephone federal excise tax, telephone federal universal service fee tax, telephone federal state and local surcharge tax, telephone minimum usage tax, telephone recurring and non-recurring charges tax, telephone usage charge tax, toll bridge tax, toll tunnel tax, trailer registration tax, utility tax, vehicle license and registration tax, vehicle sales tax, watercraft registration tax, well permit tax, workers' compensation tax, and then, on top of it all, the big boy, that unconstitutional slavery theft boy, the federal income tax. God damn, right?
Rah, God damn, it's like you were fucking Bubba naming off all the different types of shrimp, except instead of delicious shrimp, you're talking about taxes.
I got the federal income tax. I got the vehicle surcharge tax. That one's good. I got the watercraft recreational tax. Got that inheritance tax for y'all that's born rich and just got your parents' money and shit. Government got to get paid tax and shit.
So there's all the taxes for you. So, mind you, what I'm about to say, because I wrote out this little spiel.
Oh, my God. Wave it. Go ahead.
Okay. Mind you, I did not compensate for all those taxes.
That's a fucking shitload.
So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Okay. So, say you make $38,000, right? I'm not saying I make $38,000. You don't know how much I make. But I started at that because it's the third tier of the tax bracket, right? And it's kind of, I used to make $38,000, so I know what I'm talking about here. Okay, so say you make $38,000 a year, right? Before taxes.
Right.
12% automatically is going to go to the Fed. In the state of Ohio, another 3% is going to go to the Fed.
Fresh out the chain.
So you have that. And then I did include the Ohio sales tax, which is 7.17%. And the tax on a gallon of gas is 38 cents a gallon, right?
Yeah.
So doing the math as a single payer, you're paying in federal taxes $4,560 a year. In Ohio, you're paying another $1,140 for your income, and I'm even including Social Security and I'm not even including Social Security or Medicaid. So right now, after those applicable income taxes, you are paying $5,700. So that brought you down to $32,300.
Yeah.
Now assume that you spend at least roughly $15,000 on goods and services that are taxed at 7.17%, which comes to $1,075. That goes to taxes. So we are now down to $31,225 minus the $15,000 you spent on goods and services.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for fuel, say hypothetically you have a moderate commute to your job, which makes it so that you have to pay for fuel for transportation, say 30 gallons a week.
Yeah.
You pay $547.20 a year to the man in fuel taxes, if that's how much fuel you consume every week.
Right.
Okay. Now, for the sake of brevity, I will not bore you with any more, but just know that you are also looking down the barrel of local income taxes for schools and municipalities, property taxes to the state, taxes on utilities, and virtually anything else where monies are exchanged.
Man.
But those taxes alone bring the bill to $7,322, which is about 19% of your income, which, if calculated, a little bit more than 69 days of your working year are spent paying taxes. So a little over 2 months.
Mm.
And remember, I did not include all applicable taxes. So in reality, I'd say you're looking at close to 3 months of your working year, so a quarter of it.
Yes. I forgot through that rabbit hump that I was doing to the tax list to mention one that we had been requested to mention and then kind of like parse out and talk shit about.
Okay.
From 909, bro.
Okay.
The Donald Trump tax, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody hates taxes in the Trump train. However, they're all about those goddamn tariffs, though.
Yeah.
Which is nothing more than a tax on the American citizens. Because it doesn't affect the country that they're putting the tariffs on. It just makes their products more expensive on the United States citizenry.
But see, here's the thing. At the end of the day, he could say, "Hey, I didn't raise taxes, right? Tariffs are like taxes fucking like younger brother who's a fucking asshole."
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
Because in reality, we are paying more, but the thing is when the books are done, we're not paying more in taxes. The goods and services have just gone up.
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So it looks better for them. Because, hey, we didn't tax you anymore. Blame China.
Yeah.
You know? Blame fucking, you know, India or wherever else your shit's coming from.
For sure.
But yeah, so
these filters are off the chain.
Just to give you an idea, and you know what? I would love for you all to go out there and send this to us, just like I did now for you.
Yeah.
I want you to do the math. And I want you to roughly show me what percentage of your income goes to the man.
Yeah. Shoot us a message.
And this goes back to our theory that if 25% of my year is spent working just to pay the man, right? When does it not become slavery?
Ah, man. Well,
so a quarter of my time, a quarter of the sweat from my brow has to go to them.
Because they said so.
Yeah. Because if you don't, and people are like, well, just don't pay it. Well, if I don't, they're going to kidnap me and put me in a box.
Here's the thing, too. I can't legally say this, right? So I'm not saying it. I'm just saying hypothetically in a fictional story that we're both writing together. Mm-hmm. Imagine in this world all the way in the year 2019, right? Let's just call it September 24th. If everybody went to a website that dealt with their payroll, wherever you go to check your paycheck online or however that works, you hit that W-4 hitter, right? Mm-hmm. You go up to the old exemptions drop box and you put in that motherfucker 12 or 9. If every single fucking person did that, they can't do a goddamn thing. Yeah. And I don't know what the percentage would be of people. What do you think? What's the lowest percentage of the populace would have to do that before they shit their pants and couldn't do anything?
Oh, I would say easily if over 1 million people did it, they wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
You can't incarcerate another 1 million people.
It's so funny to me. We're talking about slavery percentages, of income. But if you don't pay your slave wage, you don't pay your slave tax to the government, right? They will kidnap you through the threat of coercion with a gun. If you resist said kidnapping,
they will kill you.
They will fucking kill you. And guess what? You get to go to a place that's funded by taxes and work for free as a slave.
Yeah, and not be making any kind of level of contribution to the government anymore.
Sacre bleu.
So basically what it breaks down to, and we've said this a million times on the show, taxation is theft.
It is absolutely theft.
Because
through coercion.
Yes, because we don't give it up voluntarily.
No.
Remember that, please.
Take it to the bank.
I saw a funny meme with the shill Joe Rogan, where it said, how about instead of storming 51, they can't stop us all, how about we stop paying our taxes?
No shit.
True.
Again, not doing shout-outs, but I will say that... in that coded way, that Hong Kong did manage to get mass numbers on the streets, right?
Yeah.
They got a lot of people to pay attention. Area 51 got 2 million jerk-offs to pay attention, but none of us will all get together to stop complying with taxes.
Yes.
Think about it.
And the way I look at it, when it comes to this and that whole list that you did, this ties into what we talked about at the beginning. A carbon tax on top of it all.
Yeah.
Right? Another tax. Imagine my shock that that's their solution to something that we really have no way of stopping. The only thing I think at this point that we could do to try to stop, or we can't stop climate change. The only thing we can do is adapt to climate change at this point.
Well, I mean, fuck, man. If we all just quit... Again, this goes we had a private. I wouldn't even say it's an argument, more of an in-depth conversation on our views.
Well, I wouldn't even say it wasn't an argument or anything. I feel like I was just attempting to dissect something.
No, I totally get it.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, if again back to the argument of requiring individuals, to learn their own morality, learn about rights. Mm-hmm. Because a right is nothing more than any action that doesn't hurt another individual.
Yeah.
Right? If we had that level of fucking competence as a nation, we would all know that this is bullshit. We'd call it bullshit and we'd stop. We could come together as a people, a global people, right?
Yeah.
With natural law in mind and individual rights in mind, and we could be like, hey, the actual threat is the fucking sun.
Yeah.
Or here's another thing. I don't know if you knew this. I saw it the other day. There are fires breaking out around Yellowstone.
That's great. isn't it?
Yeah, so you want to talk about some climate change, wait till that motherfucker explodes. Because just like everything else that the government's involved in, they are not talking to you about the earthquakes. They're covering them up. They had drum beats the other day. They had some real shit that's going on before other volcanic eruptions happen. Now they've got fires popping up. That whole fucking area is a caldera for a supervolcano. If that thing goes off, it's going to block out the fucking sun.
Yeah.
Some real biblical shit.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to be like, man, I wish I get some of that global warming because I'm fucking dying of, it's cold as shit.
Yeah.
And, I guess we can't grow crops because it's so fucking cold and there's not enough UV light.
Yeah.
Those are the things we could do if we came together as a people with some fucking knowledge.
Exactly. All I know at the end of the day is that collectively as a species, I always have hope.
Yeah.
Right? Because I believe that, like, we can adapt and we can change because we've been given this gift of the ability to adapt and change.
Yeah.
So, as far as I'm concerned, if what they say is true about where the climate's going, there's really nothing we can do about it now except try to adapt. Right?
Right.
And in a comprehensive way.
A way that makes sense. That doesn't involve taxing.
Yeah, stop trying to tax us and stop trying to tell us that we can't fly in airplanes anymore.
Listen, bitch, we get it. You're thieves. You want our money. Listen, we get it.
Yeah, we get it.
We understand. I understand you're a thief.
You want our money, but we like our money.
Yeah, because it's our money. You fucking bundle of sticks.
I earned it. You
cigarette over in the UK.
Yeah,
the United Kingdom.
I think that about wraps it up for us.
Yeah, we do. I feel really good about that.
Yeah, this is a good one.
A good taxation hitter. I got some closing housekeeping.
Yeah, let's do that closing housekeeping.
I want to shout out our dude, Blooded the Brave.
Yeah.
Rapper, Anarchy. You heard him when he came into the show. You're about to hear him after we shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Okay? He can be found on YouTube, Blooded the Brave. He can be found at bloodedthebrave.com. He can also be found over on Bandcamp.
There you go.
You can trust that he's all about that freedom, all about anarchy. He's going to entertain you. I love his 80s shit. It's very Stranger Things-esque. Mm-hmm. And he's not a pedophile apologist like our ex-friend who used to give us music. So we won't even talk about him. May you burn in hell. But I think that's it. Let's see. Oh, one more thing. If you didn't listen somehow to the beginning, I want you all to go to our YouTube page. I want you to subscribe, and I want you to hit that bell. We need to hit 1,000 so we can do YouTube Live on a mobile. Because we have yet to get that money to the point where this studio is hooked up on that high-speed internet. We don't have a computer. We can't do YouTube Live out here, and we're not going inside because we got a fucking studio.
Yeah.
Hit us up on youtube.com/Bones and Tub Show. Follow and bell. Also, if there's a podcaster listening, anybody does a podcast, even one we've done in the past, if you want to go ahead and hit us up with a promo swap, send us a minute, 2 minute, whatever.
Like our dudes over at Eye of the Ball did.
On the Ball. And we're about to do one with 2 spooky broads.
There you go.
We're going to record after we get off this show. And send us a promo to our email, bonesandtubs@gmail.com.
Yes. We
will play it. We'll send you ours. We'll play it, back and forth. We're going to win. You get some exposure, we get some exposure. Also, while we still have shirts, go to iTunes. Mm-hmm. Look up the Bones and Tubs podcast. Give us a 5-star review. Screenshot it. Send it to bonesandtubs@gmail.com. I'm going to send you a fucking t-shirt.
No, oh shit.
It's going to be a walking billboard of comfort.
So.
Style.
I'm going to hit it up one more time. If y'all are free and froggy, you could always go over to Patreon.
Wish I could make a frog noise.
Hit us up on Patreon. Start with $1 a month. You could join the nation.
Yeah, get a shout out on the Bones and Tubs podcast.
You want to make a communique with us?
Hit us up in those DMs, those direct messages.
Instagram or Facebook if you're still using it.
Instagram.com/Bones and Tubs. Fedbook.com/fuck Mark Zuckerberg Bones and Tubs.
Add us at Twitter if you want.
At Bones Tubs.
There you go. And I'd say that about wraps it up. I hope you guys enjoyed this show. I know I did.
Do you want to do a quick run through the messages?
Yeah, real quick. Yeah.
Okay, so we didn't want to do it through the show because so many people autistically screeched that I decided to change it. So Theo Condor was the very first boy in there. Shout out Theo Condor and them little hats, though. Bobby Deuce, sup guys? Love the show. We love you more. The correct pronunciation is Seychelles. French territory. Shout out Theo Condor.
There we go.
I don't know why I say Theo. It's the Thee. The Condor.
The Condor.
Some people were liking our effects in the beginning, but then I hit one where you had a TV on your head, and apparently it was doing some Christ awful fucking noises, so I just turned them off.
Ah, copy.
It's big business. Can't stay long on vacation with the family, but I love you. I really do. Blame Burchett. Shout out the Prez, though.
Yeah.
He's not the Prez. He's the Kung Fu
The
Panda.
VP.
Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Finally got some Bones and Tubs live. What up, boys? That's 928 Vanin. Blame Burchett. Funny is funny. Shout out Battle Bun. Weekly reminder. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is dead. Stinkbutt.69. I'm pretty sure you're the same stinkbutt that hit us on that $20 hitter.
There you go.
Another surprise shout out. Or I'm shouting you out and you just guys happen to have the same name. He said fetal alcohol syndrome. Just saying.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That fetal alcohol. I actually saw something about that.
The Condor. Yeep. Climate change is so real. This morning on the beach, it was chilly. This afternoon, it was hot as fuck. Blame Burchett. Theo Condor, faggot. I think he was talking about a bundle of sticks.
Okay.
Perhaps a cigarette in the UK.
Yeah.
Not Karen. Sup. What up, though? Benetron Prime 93. Shout out on the Ball Podcast. Tax me, daddy. Battle Bun. Only the 14th Amendment citizens required to pay an income tax. That is a fucking show in itself. You know about that?
What is it now?
Only 14th Amendment citizens need to pay a tax.
Oh, yeah. I think we've talked about that before, have we not?
I think so.
Yes.
Orange Man tax tariffs. Rabbit emojis, because you had rabbit shit on your face for a while.
Oh, okay.
I did too.
Yeah.
Taking me back to the band days with that beret, because you also look like a sexy French girl. I get a bonus of 15% on my salary twice a year. That's taxed at 40%.
Sheesh!
And I can't fucking read anymore because I'm about to piss myself.
Okay. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I know I did. We hope you have a good week, and we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope you come and join us next time. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube.
We love you.
We really do.
Cryptic as a Nas intro. Damn right, I grew up on Esco. Had Rocketman Pac exposing the plot. I lost my heart when Soldier Slim got shot, but they still live on and more than these songs. I'm in a war just to right these wrongs, so I write these songs and spit it from the heart. And came from the side that they call dog. Had a label, boxed in a trap, living life under a microscope and attack. That's all of us living against the odds. They were never in our favor. Check the paper that they print and sell. It's all a scam. Fake is the money that's in your hand. Have you seen the plans or read a book? Or do you hide your face? Are you afraid to look? Well, that'll all change when there's nowhere to go. Just do me a favor, don't turn cold, cause it'll be rough when you finally see. But it'll be worth it cause you'll be free. It's a state of mind, a sense that makes sense. Don't you forget that we're all heaven sent. We're from the stars, we're in charge. But right now, we're all living at large. 101 for being nothing but born free, and then wrapped in thorns. If you do the math and add it up, you might finally see that we've had enough. Cause anyone living who's less than 13 years of age has been living in a cage since that day they cursed us all when they blew them up and we watched them fall. Every day that they've been alive, they've been living in a line, the world at war. Every day that they've been alive, they've been living in a line, the world at war. Every day that they've been alive, they've been living in a line, the world at war. Every day that they've been alive, they've been living in a line, a world at war. Nah, it ain't all good, but I won't let them take what's left of what's good. The power we hold, the love we know, and we can see when the eyes are closed. It may feel like the hate's about to win, cause it's all you see. Just a sin they played to pray every day on our minds to keep it all in a cage. They choose what they feed on the TV, and they thrive on hate, so that's all you see. More the same, the hate and pain, the doubt and fear, a darker rain, and the same old fool who lives the rule, who's got the cure and the right last name. And if you don't pay to play the game, they might take you out and then blow your brains. I ain't shocked that they shot him, I'm surprised that they locked him all the way into the end of days. That's how it goes when you give it away, your power over the cowards who were ruled by force, and show up at your porch on a pale white horse and then hunt you down just like a sport that's real. But see, what hurts the most is those who watch like it's all a show, like the Hunger Games, cheering all the while they're living in chains that they can't see, but I don't blame them, cause I know what they face, I'm just like them. Tracked and traced to keep us safe. Why? We're enemies of the state. Every day that they've been alive, they've been living in a line, the world at war. Every day that they've been alive, they've been living in a line, the world at war. Every day that they've been alive, they've been living in a line, the world at war. Every day that they've been alive, they've been living in a line, the world at war.